Hi guys, and welcome to day 3 of our Women's Health Business Blueprint. This challenge is all about getting you to do something small on your business every single day this week. So yesterday you learned that you really need to know your niche and that it was a very much like a two-step process. So we kind of touched on part of what today is going to be about. So yesterday was a great segue. If you haven't watched day 2, I highly recommend you do that. So the second part of knowing your niche was knowing specifically who you're talking to. And that takes us into day number 3, where you need to be marketing to the right audience. So you can't market to the right audience if you obviously don't know who you're going to be talking to. So understanding the woman or the group of women that you're going to be communicating to sets you up to then market to the right audience. So making sure you have the right audience is really key, and it's going to be like the deciding factor between women buying from you and women not buying from you. Because you don't want to talk to everybody, you don't want to try to market to everybody. Like, that's just not how it works. You really want to build a community around a very specific kind of woman. So with marketing to the right audience, so let's just start out with this basically of communicating on an everyday basis on your social media channels. Because I think by practicing your communication, and social media is a really great way to be able to do that. You can also do this with email communication if you have an email list set up. But just posting online really helps you like get into what your tone is going to be, what the baseline of your brand is going to be. And then it helps you even recognize who's responding to you, who isn't. So at least on social media, you can actually get to know your ideal clients, your ideal customers, by clicking on their profile and seeing who they are. What do they like? Are they resonating with what you're putting out there? Do they fit what you're trying to attract, basically? So part of that is just getting comfortable with asking questions, sharing stories, sharing resources. So if you haven't been sharing content online, I highly recommend starting, because it's going to help build your brand basically and build you as an authority in women's health. So a good way to start marketing to the right audience is to use language that they already use. So you really want to be in their mindset. You want to be in their mind. So when they're reading their content, they feel like you truly created it just for them. And that's like the best feedback you can get, of just like when they just resonate so much with you. Like, that's when you know you're on the right path in terms of your marketing skills. Because if you can master that now, even in your general communication on social media around your business, it's going to help you when you're doing email marketing. It's going to help you when you're setting up sales pages. It's going to help you when you're setting up lead pages. If you're ever going to do webinars, it sets you up if you're going to do a product-based business and you need to write the information that goes on your packaging, that goes on your website. Like, all of this is really going to help create the communication structure of your entire business. So a great way to get started, and you can put that in your homework tonight, of just writing out like one post about it. Like, that's not too hard. Even if it takes you like 30 minutes, you can put together a post, put a cute little picture of yourself in there, and like, that's how we can start getting you started. So from the Women's Health Summit, you might have remembered that a lot of the women who are out either coaching business or coaching women's health got started on Instagram and got started on the social media platforms. So there's certainly a lot of platforms. I personally started with Instagram because I felt like it was more of an engagement tool, and I really liked that I was able to communicate with a lot of women from a lot of different areas. So posting on Instagram is one way. If you don't feel comfortable doing it under your personal account, I totally understand that too. I actually created business accounts for my work, and I would actually start talking about women's health under that. So if you don't know, I started my business under Laura Sherrill, which is my first and middle name. And I have that Instagram account. That was like where I first got started before I ever knew the name of Balanced Bombshells. And that's where I got started. I actually started as a coach under my first and middle name, because I was like, I know I want a brand name, but I don't know what that is yet. And I don't want to like not get started, and I don't want to not get myself out there because I can't see how it all fits together yet. And that's okay. So it wasn't until a year later that I came up with the name Balanced Bombshells and created that account. So you might notice that I have 2. So Laura Sherrill one is actually set up as a business account, and I use it, even though I'm sharing personal stuff on there, I actually use it very much as a business account. So that's just where I was like getting started, testing out some stuff, kind of building a community. So when I had that brand name, I could then advertise like, hey guys, I'm actually starting a new Instagram account over here if you want to follow for more tips on like women's health. So basically like it was a whole mind thing of how to manage both of those, but we're still working on it. But at least Instagram is a great place to like get started. And then what you can do is certainly just by starting and sharing your story. Why are you interested in women's health? What are you planning on doing? Like even just starting from there to just share your story, I think is a great way to start. And being able to share from a place of authenticity, like authenticity in your content creation is king in online marketing now. Like no more do people want like the flashy, sleazy sales. We want authentic and genuine and real people we can connect with. So sharing your story and just sharing like, hey, here's what I went through. Here's what I struggled with. I don't face that anymore. And I'm so excited to be able to teach other women how to do the same. Like something as simple as that. Or you can ask questions. So even marketing to the right audience is asking questions because it's going to help you figure out what they want and need. So that's how I actually know what next steps to take in my business. I allow my audience to tell me and direct me. So one of that was to being able to teach women's health to female entrepreneurs because I was getting a lot of questions about it. And I recognized, okay, my audience is ready for this type of communication and having additional resources for them. Obviously, I'm still going to be teaching women's health to the woman I set up the business for, but you're going to notice you can start pivoting even just asking questions, realizing what questions women ask you. And you can't get to that point if you never share your story, if you never share your expertise, if you never share like what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you want to do, what programs you might have. You'll never get there if you never get yourself out there online and create that visibility. And it all starts from just posting. So that's one way using Instagram. Another way to actually really get to know your audience as well is to go into Facebook groups, and you can literally do this in any Facebook group that's predominantly women, and just simply ask questions of, it can be like, hey, when you guys are about to get your period, like how do you guys feel? Like how is it making you feel? How do you deal? And you'll start noticing what they struggle with. They're going to share their pain points. They're going to be like, oh, well, I used to struggle with this and I tried this and it really worked. You're going to start understanding your audience, or you might be like, this, like, you're going to start recognizing what it feels like to not be in front of the right audience. So like, there's also purpose in that. Like if you're realizing like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people in here that have like a very victim mindset, or they're very negative, like you might not want to be around those people. And you can then recognize like, okay, I know what that feels like when I'm not aligned with my audience either. That is really crucial to understand, especially in the beginning. So you can go into these Facebook groups. There are a lot of female entrepreneur groups you can join. There's a lot of like fitness or health and wellness groups that you can join. This is actually also how I found some of my first clients, guys. Like Facebook groups actually are really great for your networking and connecting with other women. And you can simply just do this by asking simple questions based on your area of expertise. So let's say you want to help women with their cycles, and you can just ask a question of like, hey, what's one of the biggest pain points you guys have about your period? Or like, what's something you wish you knew about like hormone balance, or like something that they would understand, and you really want to use something that they're wearing and being concerned about. And if you ever get tripped up on that, ask yourself what you needed in your past. Even if you're doing a product-based business, understand, like you most likely are creating something that you felt like you needed. So those are just two really great examples of how to start understanding how to market to the right audience. And it all comes down to your communication. It comes down to your tone. It comes down to your energy behind your work, and just being real and genuine, authentic. You're not meant to know everything right now, especially with starting a business if you're brand new. I know how much time it takes to flesh this out, and just even understanding what to say, like it really just comes from a place of coming from your heart too. And you obviously are getting into this work because you're so passionate about what you do. So that's going to be one of like the biggest sections that we also do in the second part of my new program, which is the Women's Health Business Accelerator program, where I'm going to teach you how to master women's health regardless of your niche, but then also like how to start your business. And we're going to talk a lot about fleshing out your communication. We're going to talk a lot about content creation online. We're going to talk a lot about like how to find your first clients, because I know that can be a pain point for people, because they're like, how do you actually find people to work with? You know, like it's not like you just have to run ads. Like certainly you can run ads once you have a lot of stuff kind of filtered, like set up in the background to be able to do that. But a lot of it, like at least for in my experience, it was a lot of networking and a lot of just asking questions and sharing my own experiences and sharing like, hey, I love sharing knowledge about women's health. So like I naturally then attracted women who also wanted to learn those things. So you're going to start noticing that you naturally attract women who are just as curious as you are. And they're just like, oh my gosh, like everything about your story resonated so much, and I just realized how much I need to pay attention to this. So there is a huge push in online marketing about sharing stories and being a really good storyteller. And so that's one of the best ways that you can start marketing to the right audience. And by marketing, like when you're a business owner, every single day you're marketing. Marketing doesn't just stop when you're doing some sort of like pitch and promo. You're marketing all the time. Even when you go out to parties and you're hanging out with friends, without even realizing it, you're marketing yourself because you're kind of talking about this stuff all the time. And it's just part of who you are, and it's part of what you do, and it's just literally your life. And it doesn't have to be sleazy. It doesn't have to be weird or awkward. So if you end up with women who start DMing you or asking you questions about how to fix stuff like that, then you just welcome her into your world, and you're just like, hey, let's just have a conversation. And I always invite people to work with me, or I'm just like, hey, why don't you just, let's just get on a call and let's just kind of talk out what's been going on. And you actually then turn it into a discovery call with just generally showing up to help. I'm also going to be teaching you guys in the program how to sell without being salesy or sleazy, because like we all know those people who slip into our DMs and are just like clearly looking for work, but you're just like, this feels so like disingenuous and like I don't know you, and like it's just none of us like that. So I'm never going to tell you to go and do that. It just doesn't feel good. And from the receptor standpoint, and most likely from them doing it, they're like, I don't like doing this. I don't like constantly pitching myself. We don't have to do that. Literally just welcoming women into working with you. Like this is how we start marketing from a place of service versus I need to make money. Like if you're getting into this just to make money, I don't think your business is going to last. You really need the passion behind this, because like it gets hard, it gets scary, it gets lonely at times, but when you are so passionate and you're doing it for not just financial reasons, I really believe that's when entrepreneurs go further, is because they are so passionate about it and they know that like their work matters and they need to get it out there, and they're doing it from a very genuine place of service. Like, of course, you're going to need to make money. You want this to either be a side hustle that adds extra income into your family, or you want it to be your full-time job because you're just like, I'm so passionate about it, I want to do it all the time. That was my standpoint. I was like, this is not just going to be some side hustle. I want to do it all the time because I love talking about it. So making sure that you're talking to the right people, and then you knowing how to market to the right audience. And we do this every single day by sharing content online. I'm also in the program going to help you come up with a very simple content calendar that's going to work for you. I think that there's a lot of people out there who tell you, oh, you need to be on all these platforms, you need to post, like this is the schedule, you need to be able to beat the algorithm. Like guys, the algorithm is constantly changing. So if we're going to create a business around some algorithm, we're going to fail, because we're constantly going to be stressed out. We're constantly going to be chasing the next like or comment. And like our business doesn't work like that. Your loyal fans and your like followers that love you are constantly going to be checking your pages anyway. They're going to be excited to get an email from you. They're going to be excited to read your new post. Like that is a community that I want to help you create, because that's real, that's sustainable, and that's really long lasting, versus chasing some algorithm to get a certain amount of likes on your post when like everything's always changing. And like if you're doing something just for likes and like maybe like a great job type comment, you're really seeking validation versus actually serving. And so like what I hope to teach women in this course and in this program is how to come from a place of genuine love and compassion and authenticity, where you're not chasing likes and comments. Like, of course, those are helpful. Of course, we want those messages. Of course, we want that kudos and that tap on the back, but there's going to be long stretches where that sometimes doesn't happen. And I'm just going to be real with you in terms of the online game, especially when you're growing your audience. How are you showing up when you're not getting those those likes and those comments? How are you showing up and creating content and creating that consistency and creating that momentum in your business when it's not created yet? That's when most entrepreneurs stop. They stop right before things get really good because they think like, oh, no one's paying attention to me. No one's commenting. No one's reaching out to me. And like, guys, guess what? I've had women on my email list who have been on there for 2 years and will then send me an email saying, thank you so much for the work that you do. Then they're like, I follow you on Instagram and I never like your stuff, but I just want you to know that I'm watching it. And like, it's been really helpful for me. 2 years they were on the list and I never said anything. Does that mean that I'm going to stop showing up and stop delivering the information that I know that they need? Absolutely not. Because I know when I work hard enough and I'm consistent enough and I create that momentum, that's when like things really start happening and you create that community. I really want to help you, whether you're going to be a service-based business or a product-based business, really come from a standpoint of building community. Don't just think about the sales and the numbers that come through, because I've had so many conversations with other business coaches or other people just searching for money online where they saw me as numbers on their spread, like their financial spreadsheets. They didn't see me as a person. And I'm just like, you know what? That's not how we do business. Like in women's health, especially, that is not the leaders that we are going to be in this industry. We are not going to serve from that standpoint, because we need to make sure that we're making women feel good about themselves and we hear them and we're listening to them, because without that, women aren't getting the help that they want because they're not feeling connected. They're going to go find somebody else who can help them. And if I can help you come from a place of like really trying to build community and really trying to solve their problems, that is when you focus on what is right in your business, because our work isn't about us. You might be sharing your story because that's part of effective marketing nowadays. And like, it's really, really powerful. But your stories that you share aren't even about you. You're helping show them where you were at, the journey you took, and how you overcame it, for them to basically put themselves in that same journey and see themselves walking through that. And it's really, really powerful. And we respond better to storytelling. I've read a lot of marketing books on this. We respond so much better to storytelling versus someone telling us this is what we need to solve our problem. Because she might be like, hey, I don't even know you. I'm not even really in there in my thought process, especially if you're focusing on Instagram or social media and she's scrolling through. You need to draw her in, and you draw her in by being yourself, by sharing content that is really inspiring and uplifting to you. That, I think, is one of the easiest things on content creation. Share what inspires you, especially when you're just getting started and you don't know what's going to resonate yet. Share what really gets you excited, because you're going to naturally attract the women who also feel that way. So we don't have to make this whole content thing and marketing super confusing. I think there's a lot of people out there that make women believe that we don't know how to like effectively sell. We just sell differently than men. We naturally know how to sell and to do well. We're just basically taught to believe that we need more help, or we don't understand it. So I really want to get into a place where you feel really good about marketing, because as a business owner, you're going to be marketing every single day of every single moment of your life. But how can you do it from a place that feels really good? So the Women's Health Business Accelerator program, we started on August 3rd. That's less than 2 weeks away. The link is below. I really want you to sign up for this and get in on how we can be mastering all the hormones. I teach 7 different sets of hormones. I'm going to teach all of them to you, and like how to balance them through food, how to balance them through fitness. And regardless of your niche, you're going to be able to focus on these. And then we're obviously going to be spending 8 weeks of our time starting your business. So this challenge is really meant to help you like get started. So whether you sign up, if you don't sign up for the course, I really hope you take all this information and create your business, like really get started doing your business. But if you're like, I know I want the community support, I want to network and meet other women, I want hand-holding through this, I want more content to dive into it, I want you to tell me specifically what steps I need to be taking every single week, that's what this program is really set up for. And then I have other experts coming in where you're going to be able to ask questions. We're going to have a weekly group call where you're able to ask questions again. Go over what you're learning, share your wins, share your struggles, like what resistance are you having? Because like, it's really hard to not have that support when you're starting out your business. I have done both sides of the spectrum, and it always felt so much better to be in a group and to be around people that could really like be your cheerleader, because like it gets challenging. Like, what do you do when you're like, okay, I'm in the thick of it, I'm stuck, what do I do? And this course is going to help take you there, and we're going to be doing it all together as a group program. Because I think that you know, as women, we need this support. We need additional guidance. And there's not many things out there teaching you how to master hormones, and in the same realm, teaching you how to create your business around it. So if you've been looking for more clarity, you want that confidence, you want to be able to know what you need to do every single day, I really believe in structure and not burning ourselves out, not doing too much, not thinking we have to be everywhere and doing all these things, because that creates chaos, not only within ourselves, but in our business. And then your followers, your audience that you're trying to build feels that. Your energy is truly everything in your business. And I want to also help you master your energy, obviously, so that you show up and you're just relaxed and you're happy and you're just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I'm literally just sharing from my heart. And that feels so good to be able to make money from that place. So I really want to help you get to a place of abundance in your life where you feel so positive and so secure where you're at, because there's going to be a lot thrown at you at being an entrepreneur, and you have to be solid. You have to know in every ounce of your being that you're meant for this. So I'm just so excited because we're going to go over a lot of book recommendations in which you can have, like in your library for teaching women's health. You get all of my swipe files for women's health that I've created, and I walk all of my one-on-one clients through. I also end up sharing them with other female entrepreneurs that hire me to be their marketing consultant for their work, because a lot of them want additional education on women's health, and I always share that. So I'm going to be sharing that with all of you guys. And then we're really going to be uncovering everything that you need to be able to start your business, especially from a sustainability standpoint. I don't want you thinking you need to hire some huge, like a really expensive graphic designer to create your website. I don't want you thinking you have to do all of these things to be successful, because like it really comes down to networking, sharing from your heart, and I'm going to teach you how to do all of that from the online standpoint. So the link is below. I'm so excited to have you sign up for this program. Space is limited. So for the first 10 women that sign up, you get 2 one-on-one calls with me throughout the program. So I am willing to just talk and answer any questions you have. Sometimes it's really helpful to just have that one-on-one time outside of a group setting. And I really wanted to be able to give you guys that support. Or you're just like, hey, I've been kind of writing some content. Can you just look at it? I really need help editing from my tone and all that stuff. I absolutely want to help you do that. I love marketing communications. That's what I studied in college. And I'm always really good at editing other people's stuff. Like sometimes writing your own stuff is the hardest, but having a second pair of eyes is really helpful. And I want to help make sure that we have like effective timelines for you, project flows. How can we create more automation in your work so you can actually like live your life? Because I don't want you burnt out. Like that is not going to serve yourself. That's not going to serve your family. That's not going to serve the women that you're trying to help. We want to make sure that you're running a business from a very positive, energetically filled standpoint. So if you have any questions, just email me at laura@balancebombshells.com, or you can drop them below in the comment section. I'm so excited to get started with you guys, and I hope this helps. So to recap, we want to make sure that you're marketing effectively to your right audience, and you do that by sharing authentically, sharing genuinely, using words and like phrases and like how someone else is thinking in your communication. And you can do that by asking questions online and like recognizing what words they're using. You can do that by really asking other people like to share your story and then ask them to share theirs, and you can start noticing the word choices that people use, and you can actually start using that in your marketing. So the reason why this is so crucial is that anytime you're setting up your website, anytime you're going to do a lead page for either a free opt-in or a program or sales page, like it really helps with all of your communication on that. So then when someone lands on it, they know this is for me, like this was made for me, I need to do this. And that's what I want to help you create, because I obviously want to help you create financial abundance in your work so you can keep doing it. That's one of the whole reasons why we make money too, is so you can keep doing the work that you're meant to be doing. So I've been so excited to do this challenge with you guys. We've got 2 more days left. So tomorrow we're going to be talking a little bit about branding. So I'm really excited to bring that to you, because I know that can be a confusing topic in our work as well. So stay tuned till tomorrow, and I will talk to you then.